That's when they took it from any type of remorse, which they did not show, to the fact of now we're going to play the race card. And now we're going to politicize this. Now we're getting a political activist involved. The two things I said, one of the first I was hoping we could show the world this interviews I ever did, was please don't make this about race. And please don't politicize it. But they chose to do both.
And your goal that day was to simply get together and pray?
All I wanted, yeah.
And why do white folks always ask not to make it about race? Set the scenario. Your twin boys who are 200 pounds and over 6 feet tall decides to walk over to Carmelo Anthony, 130 pounds and under 6 feet, surrounded by nothing but white people, and try to bully him from under a tent. Now let's switch it. Let's put Austin Metcalf in Carmelo Anthony's position. Carmelo Anthony walks over with 4 boys and his brother. They're both 200 pounds and over 6 feet. And Austin Metcalf is 130 pounds. Your ass would have sat there and made it about race. Only time white folks don't want to deal with race is when they know they're in the wrong. And you shaking right now because there's a new legal team standing behind Carmelo Anthony. That judge abruptly retires. There was an all-white jury, no jury of his peers whatsoever. The 2 or 3 black jurors were pushed off because they were teachers. You sat there on live stream and you made fun of Carmelo Anthony, calling him a watermelon felon, talking about other black men having jobs and being supportive fathers. That must be a shocker to our community. And now you on Fox News. Let me put it to you like this. If 3x5 cars didn't want to make everything about race, they should have left our asses in fucking Africa.
You know, I previously published a video to my timeline acknowledging that this unlawful conviction that was handed down to our beloved young brother Carmelo Anthony must be overturned by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. And in that video, I gave a brief legal synopsis as to how and why. And it's crazy because within hours of me publishing that video amassed over 180,000 views.
Well, let's not say that was the victim thinking as well.
Of the victim.
Good.
Yes. Sonia Austin and ABC are facing mass calls for a lawsuit after claiming Carmelo Anthony did not receive a fair trial because there were no black juries. Why? Also misrepresenting the worth of Austin's dad. To millions of viewers, a lot of people are calling them out. He recently had an interview on Fox News where a lot were said. If you take a look at this fact check on X, Carmelo Anthony sentenced to 35 years in prison. They actually posted the video immediately. X fact checked them. A jury of one's peer does not require jurors to be the same race as a defender, and black jurors were struck for race-neutral reasons. Anthony weighed 162 lbs, not 130, and multiple black witnesses testify against him from under the 10. Okay, this is X doing fact check after they spewed this on their platform.
I was hoping we could show the world this wasn't a racial divide thing, that we could kind of close the gap instead of widening it. But at that point, they'd obviously retained the services of Dominic Alexander, a convicted baby-shaking felon advocate who decided to throw me out of the press conference, had me removed by police, and then proceeded to gaslight me and tell me how I was such, I can't remember the word he used, but that I shouldn't have been there, and it was not dignified to my son or myself, which I really couldn't quite understand as they proceeded to gaslight me. And also took it, there was a young lady who has followed the case also from the entire time. Her name is Sarah Fields. Also showed information about her. That's when they took it from any type of remorse, which they did not show, to the fact of now we're going to play the race card. And now we're going to politicize this. Now we're getting a political activist involved. The two things I said on one of the first interviews I ever did was please don't make this about race and please don't politicize it. But they chose to do both.
And your goal that day was to simply get together and pray?
All I wanted, yeah. I was actually hoping to show them, hey, look, man, I know.
A team of attorneys, a half a dozen attorneys from different law firms, all filed notice of representation for Carmelo on this appeal. Typically, when a criminal conviction is being appealed, it's usually only common to have about maybe 1 or 2 attorneys, 2 attorneys at most, that handle appeals regarding criminal convictions. Very, very rarely do you see a half a dozen attorneys that do not work in the same law firm all signed notice of representations, or filed notice of representation for the same case that is being appealed to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. I got news for you, your bottom left. That is attorney Brooke Close, who works as an attorney under the Honorable Civil Rights Attorney Ben Crump. That attorney would only get involved because she's a high-profile civil rights attorney. That attorney only gets involved when there's an end game to sue.
Yes, if you take a look at what this man is doing here, he's able to speak of the truth on what actually happened. I understand race took over this case. Even till date, a lot of people can't even rest because they still want to talk about this. I said it 3 days ago that I will not report on this, but I see myself coming back to this topic, even though they don't recommend these videos on my channel, but I just want to show the few people that will see the video. This man is hurt. If you look through his eyes, the way he speaks, you can realize how he is.
So Carmelo Anthony is getting a new legal team. This will be comprised of a civil rights attorney, also a couple people from the Texas NAACP. A lot of people in that sector are banding together to overturn his conviction. And my biggest thing that I have to say about it is why? Why? He committed murder. There are consequences to murder. That's it, guys. It's that simple.
Yes, these people are getting excited about this whole situation. Like, what is this? I believe you've seen this lady. Carmelo Anthony is having a new team that is going to remove him in prison. This is exactly what they're doing. And at some point, it is like what Carmelo Anthony did was normal, was okay to them. If you see people who love things relating to race, you will obviously know. You will see it clearly. It can't even hide at this point. But it gets crazy when I see someone like, Sonny Austin is a law. I don't know if she's a lawyer, but the way she usually responds to questions, you will wonder if she actually even did law, because this is something she has limited knowledge on what exactly is even going on. I believe after this footage came out on social media, people should have opinions on this topic because they now understand exactly what happened. Not speaking on informations, getting here and there, but based on the video we saw, you can realize the guy actually was wrong. Carmelo Anthony deserves what he is getting. But people can accept this. At some point, I don't always like to share opinions if I have limited knowledge on a subject. Throughout this case, I did not say a thing. Reason being, I had limited knowledge. I knew nothing about this. Reason I was just reporting videos without sharing a lot. I can now confidently say something based on the videos I watch.
That's the pool guy?
I'm ending here. I want to appreciate people supporting, sharing out the videos. God bless you abundantly. As of the short clip you see at the end, that is for white everything. You can always skip.
You guys, I'm a library.
Yeah.
Does this feel? Never do this again.
Emily went under to jurors, but it was shown.
Oh, can you hear me? Yeah, no, I heard what happened. Listen, good news is I'm about to get you going to jail, but
you're on my page, so you automatically know.
Los Angeles is that it's really important not to conflate.
So with all eyes on California, you can see exactly what's happening. It
goes on here in the Golden State.
In 39 days, we will know the winner.
Towards me is a Democrat.
In California. Now you realize people everywhere in America make